I'm not Tony Soprano by any means.
Relax.
I'm very unlike Tony Soprano. I'm a sweet gentleman.
What's it like to be working character actor and then become a star and having to deal with that?
This was a level of fame that he had never wanted.
People thinking he's Tony Soprano, and he's not.
Had never anticipated.
Oh, man.
I'd like to dedicate this in the memory of a girl I knew a long time ago.
And his girlfriend, Lynn Marie Jacobson, died in a car crash.
She made me want to be an actor, and I miss her very much.
This was the moment James's life changed for better or worse, through a loss he rarely spoke about. Lynn was driving back to her family home when her 1971 Ford Mustang hit a utility pole. She passed away instantly. The police found no mechanical problem or anything else. Everyone assumed she'd fallen asleep at the wheel after a very long day. She worked 2 jobs to help her family.
And I think losing someone he cared for so deeply really sort of reconfigured his priorities in terms of the kind of life he wanted to live.
At the time of his girlfriend's passing, James was working as a bartender.
He had tinkered with acting on stage as a high school student and loved it. But, you know, he was a working class guy.
People from my family don't generally go into the art.
What was your father's profession?
He was a bricklayer, cement mason, and then he became the head custodian of a high school.
And the arts is not something you go into.
Your great-grandfather and his brother Frank, they built this place.
And did your mother work?
Yes, she was the head lunch lady of a high school.
Stone and marble workers, they came over here from Italy, and they built this place.
You've said, I like to play people like my parents. Lawyers and stockbrokers don't interest me.
End of story.
And what sort of music was played in your home?
A lot of like, stuff like that.
Were you a well-behaved kid?
Up to a point.
What point?
High school.
How did you do academically?
Okay.
Just okay.
Yeah, not great.
It was in high school that James first became interested in acting, but it wasn't a serious pursuit yet.
TV and movies, did they play a role in your life?
The first thing I remember, like, seeing and registering was West Side Story. As a kid, for some reason, I really, when I saw that, I went, wow. Mean Streets is one of the things that I saw 10 times. Like in a row. I just sat there. I just thought it was great. Everything about it.
After graduating from high school, Gandolfini went to college, following a typical working class dream.
I basically went to college because I was the first male born in America that, you know, so I was going to college. My mother, she beat it into me that I was going, and I got into this, you know, Rutgers, and I went, and the first night they had a 5-keg party there, and I said, what was I fighting about?
And when he went to Rutgers, he didn't take advantage of their wonderful theater program. He studied, you know, communications and journalism so he could get like a real job.
What was your major?
Communications.
What did you do after graduation?
I came to New York and ran a nightclub. It's called Private Eyes. It was on 21st Street. Speaking of acting, I got a lot of great research stored up here from those years managing a nightclub. Because I was 21, 22, I got the job. Didn't have a clue as to what I was doing. Faked my way through it. The club was straight 2 nights a week, gay 2 nights a week, and kind of everything else 2 nights a week. So I spent a few years just watching people, just in amazement. Saw a lot of interesting things that I stored up for later.
Gandolfini entered acting reluctantly, almost defensively, as if testing whether the world would reject him before he dared believe in it.
I think I moved to New York to do it. I just didn't admit it really till later on.
I had a friend, Roger Bart, who used to come into the nightclub occasionally, and he's been on Broadway. He's in the producers. He's done a lot of things, but I just knew him from Rutgers through a friend. And I talked about taking acting classes, but it wasn't really something anyone in my family ever did. And he kept pestering me to go to this class, and I went to this class. It was a Meisner technique class. I went in, and I was scared to death. I was shaking.
Weren't they doing when you arrived an exercise of threading a needle?
You know, it was impossible because I was like this. And I was so angry and so nervous at the same time, you know, and she kept making me go back up and try it.
It was in this acting class that James learned how to let his anger take full control when needed.
I had such anger back then, and she kept telling me to go ahead, and I never wanted to. I think she told someone, a partner, to do something to me. Even, you know, I remember my hands were bleeding a little bit and stuff. And she goes, see, everybody's fine. This is what you have to do. This is what people pay for. If you don't want to do it, get off. But this is what people pay for to see. They don't want to see the guy next door.
After acting in theaters in 1980's New York City, he landed his first film role in 1992.
What was your first film? Stranger Among Us.
I got a call saying, Sidney Mel wants to see you. I was like, all right. But, you know, I didn't think anything of it. And I went in and he hired me.
Congratulations. You just bought yourself peace of mind.
I really didn't have a clue. I didn't have a clue.
When you were a kid in New Jersey, your father bought tires from the father of...
John Travolta.
John Travolta.
You're a stuntman, huh?
Yeah.
In Get Shorty, you were privileged to be beaten up twice.
You any good?
By John Travolta.
Am I any good?
Even with a limited range of characters to play, his talent didn't go unnoticed by critics.
In his review of Night Falls on Manhattan, Roger Ebert wrote, "If the movie had been pitched at the level of sophistication and complexity
I lied.
that his character represents, it would have been a lot better."
From the very beginning, James found himself being pushed into intimidating, often violent roles. Casting directors saw threat before they saw range.
He had carved out a very nice space for himself as a character actor in the 1990s.
Once again, violence. Once again, with a woman. For a while, it seemed to be your artistic fate.
The most memorable role that helped him gain attention during this time was in True Romance, which was written by Quentin Tarantino.
How did the role of Virgil?
For 3 months, and all of a sudden I was told I had this part.
And you played what part?
Get on your feet, sweetie. You ain't hurt that bad.
Oh, he's a murderous lunatic, I guess.
He's a hitman, right?
Yeah.
After this and a few small but eye-catching roles, James got the chance in 1997 to audition for a role that would define his life and career.
The first time I actually met him, he came in to read as one of the actors who came in to read. We basically just shook hands and he sat down and he read, and then he bolted in the middle of it.
And the first audition, I stopped halfway through and I said, "This sucks.
This is shit, I'm not doing this right," and left. He said, I'm not doing this right, this is not good.
I'm not doing this right. I didn't prepare for this right. I'm not doing it right, and I don't want to do it anymore, and I want to come back and do it for you again. If you want me to come back, I'll come back and do it differently."
He walked out, but we thought he was great. So our casting directors got him to come to my house.
I got a call. David Chase wanted to meet at like 8:30 in the morning or something. I was like, oh, just his choice of having a breakfast instead of putting me off right away. I don't know why. But we had a good time, and we laughed about our families a lot and our mothers.
And he read the scene, and it was just pretty obvious when Jim did it. He was Tony.
But James didn't think he was enough of a leading man to be trusted with starring in a TV show.
I said, "There's no way I will be able to do this." I really thought that they would pick someone different than I.
How different? In what way?
A suave, good-looking mafioso guy. Just somebody a little more leading man type.
Besides doubting himself as a leading man, he also didn't think the idea of a mob boss going to therapy would be accepted by audiences. But for the time being, it was still a solid TV job, just one filled with uncertainty.
I remember the first day was, the barbecue at all these fat Italians. I'm looking around going, I'll be out of here.
That many people would watch the show in the beginning. It was a bunch of lunatics from New Jersey.
This is pilot, and then I knew the writing was good. I knew it was very funny. I didn't think it would. I thought it would find a small audience, maybe. But
To James's surprise, it didn't take long for The Sopranos to become a success. It drew strong ratings right away and gained massive attention through word of mouth. Within months, critics were already calling it a groundbreaking show on TV, and by season 2, it was firmly established as a cultural phenomenon.
Sopranos fever here probably reached a peak last July.
James Gandolfini for The Sopranos.
Won 3 Emmys, the Golden Globe, the Screen Actors Guild Award, 3 Television Critics Awards.
like this,
And my theory is they saw the little boy. They felt and they loved the little boy, and they sensed his love and hurt.
A lot of the tough guys that he had played up until then had been sort of one-dimensional stereotypes, basically, which was what he was trying to avoid.
He did things with a blank, and you knew exactly what the hell his character was going through.
His raw material was emotion, and he was just really good with working with it.
He had sensitivity, vulnerability, weakness. And also, I think part of the reason why we found his performance so compelling was a lot of those same contradictions existed within him.
Even when you're not being violent, there's this violence that seems like a character.
A little bit of both. I mean, I have a little bit of a temper, but it's, a useless temper. Doesn't accomplish anything generally. It's just a lot of ranting and raving and nothing. But so David probably saw that and put it into the character. I'm not Tony Soprano by any means. It's an exaggeration of everything.
But there are seeds there, which David saw.
Yeah, I think so. One reason people, are good at certain characters after a long time is because the writers see stuff and they put it in, and it makes life easier for you.
But everything could not have been made easier by David Chase.
I think it was hard for Jim sometimes to go to dark places.
Good boy, Jimmy Gandolfini, was able to fill those shoes.
Are those scenes difficult?
I find them difficult. I find they take a bit of a toll.
I loved you. What happens, I decide, not you. No. Fuck! This fucking turning thing doesn't work.
It's okay.
This was really, really deeply emotional and sometimes deeply disturbing, and you really had to get in touch with a part of yourself that, if you did not feel the words you were saying, it just wasn't going to work.
He felt that he had to go to places, he said, that were destructive to him.
Cover from the shoe like that.
You drink. I don't know. You go home feeling rotten, just absolutely rotten. It takes a while.
Even if you're not playing a psychopathic criminal with depression, starring in a successful TV series comes with its own heavy weight, especially if you're someone like Gandolfini, who sacrifices everything, including his well-being, for his performance.
You'll start Monday morning, usually 5:30, 6 o'clock, even earlier. You go 14 hours. Some of the things I'll use to get angry are lack of sleep will piss you off to no end. And then because the actors have a 12-hour turnaround, you go 8, and you start at 8 the next day. So then you work till 10. Then you start at 10 the next day. You'll work till 12. And they can work you later on a Friday night. So Friday, you're usually there till 2, 3 in the morning. Sometimes we've seen the sun come up on Saturday. Monday morning, you start all over again. Sleep 2-3 hours a night for 2 nights before you have a really violent scene. Every single thing that anyone does will piss you off.
He probably quit the show every other day, I would say. You know, maybe every day, but give him every other day.
I mean, I'll do a lot of weird things, bang my head on things. I mean, you know, you do whatever you need to do.
We would go to a bar, and we would have the exact same conversation. We'd get drunk, say, I'm done. I'm not coming back.
How important is Tony's weight? Should he be a heavy guy?
Actually, it's important.
It is.
You can put a rock in your shoe, a very pointy rock, walk around with that all day. I mean, it's silly, but it works. You're mad.
And I would say, okay, you got 100 people depending on you here. And he's like, yeah, okay, you know. So usually he would come back, but then a few times he disappeared for a few days.
When I do get thin, which is not often, but when it does happen, I don't feel the same. I don't walk the same. He doesn't walk the same, you know, with that lumber.
Yeah.
He doesn't sit, you know, he sits with that, like if he had the big thing here, you know, he sits like this. It's important.
Besides all the burden that came with the role, James was never comfortable with the fame that came with it.
And his life changed dramatically in the course of that show.
The strange things that happened to him that hasn't happened to many character actors.
He went from being a relatively unknown actor to being a huge star, extremely recognizable.
We'd be in the bathroom, and he'd be like at the urinal, and people were coming up to him at the urinal, wanting to shake his hand.
And it's a little strange for him, that kind of eradication of privacy.
Stop it, my kid's with me.
All right, relax.
I don't want to relax.
It was sort of a public pressure that he was not prepared for.
I had no clue. I walked in with a big smile on my face, and I got punched right in the nose. And I said, okay, I got to figure out some way to do this. I had no clue how to prepare for it.
Hey, do a short interview with Cynthia for HBO?
Because you never went in it for stardom.
Right.
You didn't go in to be the lead. And you're comfortable as a character actor because you can go into many roles, and you like the idea of many roles. You like being a different guy today and tomorrow.
One time, Jim was really freaked out, and some guy took off his shirt, and he had a tattoo of Jim's face on his back. He went, that really freaks me out, man. The guy's got my face on his back.
You know what? I feel like Jesus just sat down on the mountain with me. Thank you.
Oh, really?
'Cause I know-
I'll disappoint you quickly, don't worry.
And now you get to be a starring role, so you're Tony Soprano. And the world sees you as Tony Soprano. So nobody's coming over to give you the character actor parts anymore.
The show really became so popular, and he became so popular. And he had a way of just kind of diffusing the importance of that and just looking at the absurdity.
That the kind of money that other actors were getting on network shows for, frankly, a lot less work than he was doing. Those salaries had grown so large at that time. He was generating so much money for HBO. So he and his team saw that he was in kind of a power position and renegotiated and got a nice salary bump. And then when he went back to set, he called each of the supporting players for the show into his troupe.
It's $30,000.
And that's really the best part of accepting one's success,
Being able to help people.
because now you get a chance to use it.
Because I know he did that a lot.
You just do things, and that's the way it was. If he thought that he could be helpful, then he just did it.
One day I get a call, he says, what do you think about Iraq? 3 weeks later, we were saying hello to the troops.
I went there, I came back, I was struck by the silence of here in this country about what's going on over there.
Jim wanted to do something to help the country understand the sacrifices of the soldiers and to honor them.
Do you know whether or not you're going to survive the series?
No.
And you're telling me James Gandolfini has no happens or gets whacked?
It's time to go, it's time to go. Have a party and move on.
How do you...
I've had a good run, man. I'm fine.
But he is no longer Tony Soprano. The actor, the man, has moved on, and HBO has moved with him.
You need to have a point of view. I think good actors have a point of view about things. They have a point of view about who they are and what they want to say in a character. You know, you can stay true to what you want to do, but sometimes you'll have to bend and shift a little bit. To me, it's telling a story about blue-collar America and how they get, I mean, there's a lot of, I don't want to get too.
On September 9th, Gandolfini will host a powerful documentary on some of the 27,000 wounded veterans of the Iraq War.
But don't bend and shift too much, because if you start compromising and you start chipping away, you're going to forget why you started.
They are 4 out of the 27,000 or so wounded, and they're in a new HBO documentary that came about because James Gandolfini visited Iraq and came home believing their stories needed to be heard.